Yes, survived indeed. We got about 6 inches here on the ground. You know, it's amazing how quickly it melted. I think the ground's been pretty warm, so hasn't been too bad.
People are getting excited. People are getting heated up for Cubs baseball here. That's why.
That's got to be it. That's got to be it.
All right, you're covering this story about student loans. What's going on?
Yeah, what a great time, right? The NCAA tournament's about to kick off here. You're going to watch a bunch of kids who are going to college for free play basketball. In the meantime, in the mail is your student loan payment, or at least your bill. 1 in 6 people paying student loans has not made a payment in 9 months, essentially defaulting in their loan. 1.1 million people defaulted in their student loans in 2016. Right now, Department of Education statistics, 42.5 million Americans paying student loans. They owe $1.3 trillion. That averages $30,650 per student loan payment being paid right now. So it is kind of a snapshot of where we're at. The defaults are concerning, especially since the Obama administration did put in some procedures that would allow students or post-grads, I guess, to pay at levels of their income. So if you're making $20,000 versus $100,000, you'd be paying at 10% or whatever, as opposed to paying one flat rate. That doesn't seem to be helping at all, and people still seem to be underwater when it comes to paying these loans.
Any breakdown as to doctors? Because it's one thing if you're a student loan and you're a doctor. It's another thing if you're a student, if you have a student loan and you're, a history major. Right? I mean, there's one way where you can pay it back, and there's another way where you're probably going to struggle.
The numbers aren't broken out quite like that, and the argument obviously would be, well, if you're a doctor, you're going to eventually be making more money, whereas if you're a history teacher, you might not be making as much money, and the burden is just as tough. The question here lies, where is the problem at? Is it students and parents biting off more than they can chew when they're making that decision which school to go to? Do I go to Mizzou? Do I go to Southern Illinois? Do I go to Washington? Do I go to when you make that decision, understanding what the cost will be at that point once you graduate? Is it the schools not properly informing people? Should they be tied in one form or another to these loans? Is it the agencies that the government uses to collect these bills? Are they not properly informing people? So, there are a lot of questions as to how to fix this problem. And, the rate of schools has gone up considerably over the last decade or so. They've tried to make schools affordable as possible, but just because you can get into school and are essentially given a freebie for 4 years, that doesn't mean that it's going to be free 6 months after you leave and that first bill hits.
Well, you look at tuition here at Missouri. Let's just take one school, Missouri, which is going up again because of tax cuts. There's only a few things states can cut, and that is higher education money, and so it costs more to go to school, which means more student loans, which means harder to pay back, which means all of that. Do we have any idea, Ryan Burrow, how much these kids, I mean, some of these people have student loans that, are 30, 40 years old that are still paying it off, but how much of them say, you know what, I'm just going to blow it off. I have it, I'm just not going to pay it back. Any way to know that number?
We don't know, but we know that there were 1.1 million new people who defaulted last year. And here's the thing about defaulting. If you default, those loans can't be discharged in bankruptcy. You can't just go like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to go this route and ruin my credit score. No, that's not how it works with student loans. So, the options aren't really there when those bills come. Now, you can kind of go in there and talk with the agencies and try to manage different situations. If you were to lose a job, there are different ways to go about doing that, but it's not like there's a lot of negotiation or wiggle room in there to kind of work these numbers either down or up. So it's something that needs to get figured out. Senator Elizabeth Warren's been really pushing this hard over the last couple of weeks or so. We'll see if there's any response from the college community or the federal government for that matter.
Ryan Burrow, ABC News correspondent, survived the blizzard of 2017 in Chicago. Ryan, have a good week. Thanks for checking in.
Take care.
7:25, we'll do numbers. We'll do that next. Big fight.